Greetings, family. I hope you can hear and see me okay. I was having a few little tech issues today, family. This is your sister with the curly braids, Vicki Dillard. I hope you can hear and see me okay. Let me see if I can see myself go live. Uh-oh. Can you all hear? Okay, I'm not seeing myself. Can you all hear and see me live, even though I can't see me live? Okay, so you all are saying that you can hear me live. I am certainly having a few tech issues, but I'm going to keep going because I absolutely am not showing you on my screen. Yes? Anyway, family, how are you? How are y'all doing tonight? I am popping in on you late. Okay, family, as you come in, be sure to come in giving us a big thumbs up, thumbs up. I see Brother Warren said that we can hear and see me okay, but I'm not seeing it here. Okay, let me keep going. Let me keep going. Okay, it is so good to see you all tonight, dear family. Thank you so much for joining me today. Yes, family, I wanted to pop up with you really, really quick tonight to just put my 2 cents in. Um, okay, it looks like I'm seeing a couple of more people come on in. Family, I thank you so much. I can't tell you how many times I've tried. I can't tell you how many times I've been going live, trying to restart it over and over and over again, but we'll hopefully eventually get this figured out. So let me get to where I'm going with the quickness. Yes, thank you so very much for joining me tonight, family. I have a little bit of a ritual that as you come in, be sure to come in giving us a big thumbs up. Be sure to like and be sure to share the broadcast. Yes? Okay, family, listen. How many of you all certainly know about all of the drama that has been in the news nonstop related to the Jeffrey Epstein file leaks that have certainly implicated so many of the world leaders? Yes, how many of y'all have been hearing about that? And because I've been having, a few little issues here that I still got to work out with to figure out with my tech issues here. But my brother said, my moderator said that they can hear and see me okay, even though I'm not showing it. I wanted to say to you that I want to just briefly, give you a little bit of information. How many of you all know that it's approximately, I guess, 3 million documents that have been released? Of course, I certainly have not had the opportunity to go through all of that, but I want to give a little bit of an angle based on some of what I know for sure. And you can certainly expect me to go further in the very near future about more information on this topic. Yes, family. Now, watch this. I want you all to consider something. Now, in the wake of all that's been going on with the Epstein leaks, how many of you all know that the President of the United States, Donald Trump, it is alleged in some of those documents that you all's world leader is said to have violated young girls. It is credibly alleged that in these documents, and that when we say violated, it's much worse than that. Violated, I don't even like to use that word. It needs to be a stronger word than that. But you know how these algorithms can pick up stuff. There were underage young children, girls, and that he threatened to take even the life of I guess one or more of them if they said anything. How many of y'all heard about that? Yes? How many of you all saw plenty of evidence of other folks like Epstein and other very powerful world leaders that's crawling around on the ground with what appears to be a whole elementary school class? That sick mess. Are y'all listening? How many of you all know that there's talk about cannibalism How many of you all know there's a whole lot of other disturbing things that's involving a whole lot of very powerful, wealthy, and influential people? And mostly white people. Don't have to be somebody. Now, because this is very important. Now, how many of you all know that the Trump administration, the White House, released a whole lot of documents and they turned around and snatched back a whole lot more, even though a lot of them are already redacted, right? They claimed, oh, it was some victims' pictures in there, victims' information. How many of you all know that after they released a lot of these documents, they turned around and snatched it right back? Are y'all listening to me today? Now, how many of you all know, and this is important to understand, that there are several million more that they're still supposed to release to us. So they're just slowly releasing bits and pieces for us. How many of y'all know that? Which lets us know that this is a controlled releasing of documents for a very, 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 very specific reason. How many of y'all know that? Are y'all listening to me, Black family? Are y'all listening to me? Family, again, I am so sorry about the tech issues. I'm having problems. I'm not even seeing you on my other device here. Let me check it again. Yes? Now I'm getting ready to pull up something that just popped up in the news. Now, in the wake of all this, right? Guess what CBS pulled up? Okay, looks like I'm seeing a video here, but there's still a bit of a delay. I'm going to keep moving forward, family. Everybody be sure to hit that thumbs up button, share, share, share. Yes? Hit that thumbs up button and share, share, share. Family. And this is under the Copyright Act of 1976. Can I ask you all a question? You would think that this is supposed to be the only thing all major news network. Now, don't get it wrong. The established news networks, right? The establishment. Your old, irrelevant, dead media, right? Well, guess what? And I couldn't believe my eyes. When I was doing research earlier, guess what CBS decides that they wanted to talk about today? And again, this is under the Copyright Act. Y'all see this Black reporter? Let me push it back a little bit. Can you all see this Black reporter? Y'all think I'm making this up? Y'all see her? What is going on with the camera? Can y'all see that okay? Y'all see her? Guess what today's headline from CBS? Family, I said, guess what today's headline was from CBS this morning? Y'all ready? Y'all ain't ready? Everybody hit that thumbs up button, share, 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 please. Again, I thank you so much for your patience, and be sure whenever you come in to stay tuned. At the end of this broadcast, I have a very, 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 very special announcement. Yes, y'all look.
Trial on child
Watch
pornography charges.
R&B singer R. Kelly was convicted of racketeering and sex crimes in 2 separate federal trials in 2021.
Wait, hold up. Did y'all hear the name he said? Can y'all hear me okay? Y'all, this is CBS this morning. This morning, what did CBS talk about? Are they talking about the Epstein files? Are they talking about all the rich white supremacists that's in the files and the videos and the documents? No, what is CBS talking about this morning?
R&B singer R. Kelly was convicted of racketeering and sex crimes in 2 separate federal trials in 2021 and 2022, but his legal trouble started many years before that. Way back in 2001, there was a sex tape that was leaked, and on that tape showed a 14-year-old girl. That girl's name was Roshona Landfair. She was also known as Jane Doe during one of R. Kelly's trials. She's now 41 years old, and Landfair spoke with Jerika Duncan in her first television interview about her new book, which is called Who's Watching Shorty, and what made her first want to speak out. Jerika.
Black family, I have a question. Looks like I see one of my other moderators in here, Miss Aquarius. Black family, I said I have a question for you. In the wake of all these millions of documents that mostly implicate a whole lot of white men, powerful white men, why in the hell is CBS this morning and Black Media Reporter covering? I must be in another, I think I'm in a different time zone. Help me, Black family. I need your help. Who?
R&B singer R. Kelly was convicted of racketeering and sex crimes.
Wait, no, this can't be right.
R&B singer R. Kelly was convicted of racketeering and sex crimes in 2 separate federal trials in 2021.
Y'all look at the headline.
His legal trouble started many years before that. Way back in 2001, there was a sex tape that was leaked. And on that tape showed a 14-year-old girl. That girl's name was Roshona Landfair. She was also known as Jane Doe during one of R. Kelly's trials. She's now 41 years old, and Landfair spoke with Jerika Duncan in her first television interview about her new book.
What is Miss Jerika Duncan? That's the Black reporter's name. What is Miss Jerika Duncan Donuts sitting up here interviewing this Black woman who's in her 40s from something that she said that was alleged 14 when she was 14, and the lady said at the time that wasn't even her. Black family, I'm asking y'all a question. We're in a groundbreaking moment in the whole wide world where there's a controlled release of documents from the Epstein stuff. Now, how many of you all know that there is an agenda with the administration in releasing those documents at this time? I'm aware of that. Y'all know that, right? I am aware that they have their own agenda as to why they're releasing those documents at this time. Yes? I'm aware these are not all the documents as I just mentioned. So don't come here saying it's a distraction, this, that, and the third. I know it's a lot to that, but I'm going to work it. But it matters how we in Black media, especially Black grassroots media, how we utilize this information. And I want you all to understand that the depravity that Jeffrey Epstein represents, how many of you all know Jeffrey Epstein represents so much more? There's also other hidden forces. If this is what they're releasing, this is what they want us to know at this time. Y'all know that, right? Which means that there's some other dirty, little nasty, little stinking, little funky, little vile, little satanic other stuff that's hidden. Can you imagine what else is missing? And we're already exposed to enough level of depravity with just what we know right now. And the Trump administration still hadn't released the other millions of documents, right? But whatever the reason is for them releasing only so much, redacting a whole lot of information, piecemealing the information, and trying to control the narrative around it. Today of all days, y'all's so-called legacy media, CBS News, Jerika Duncan Donuts is what I'm calling her. Talk black to me, somebody. And the other black looking dude that's opening or whatever background he is, Black media sitting up here talking about another black man. Are y'all listening? Let's listen to just a little bit more.
Called Who's Watching Shorty, and what made her first want to speak out.
Look.
Jerika is here now to talk about this. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. You know, she says that becoming a mother and, of course, the surviving R. Kelly docuseries released in 2019 were two major reasons why she says she wrote this book. And keep in mind, Roshona Landfair back then denied being the young girl on the tape. And because of that, Kelly was not convicted back in 2008 when he first stood trial on child pornography charges. Here's a clip of my interview that we shared on social media. Take a listen. January 3rd, 2019, Surviving R. Kelly airs. Mm-hmm. Did you see all 6? It's a 6-part series. Did you see all of it?
I don't know if I saw all of it, but I saw enough.
And you thought?
That was the spirit of conviction came over me during that moment.
And when you say the spirit of conviction, what do you mean by that?
Somehow I felt responsible that he was able to hurt so many more people. During the time, I thought Maybe these were just sexual fetishes that he had with me. Maybe this was just abuse I was going through. But when I saw that his behavior had gotten so much worse, and he was allowed to hurt so many people because I lied, that did not sit well with me as an adult, as a woman.
In March of that same year, Gail King sat down with him and the two women he was in a relationship with at the time. Did you happen to see that?
I did.
I didn't do this stuff. This is not me. I'm fighting for my life. Y'all killing me with this. I can't help. I'm not help.
Robert.
Well, first I thought it was very Broadway of him to act like that. That was very normal for him to have that type of response. And when I heard those girls speak, I knew exactly who was talking through them. I knew exactly
your gift is blessed 1,000-fold, Dennis.
Convincing, the firmness, everything that I had been trained and groomed to do, I read right in between that. And in that moment, I did not feel sorry for him at all. I felt like...
Family, I said this was this morning. This was a few hours ago. Are y'all listening? I just saw your gift is blessed 1,000-fold. Somebody else, Lawrence, just gave a sticker. Also, your gift is blessed 1,000-fold. Family, let me ask you a question. If you think I'm going to be sitting here defending R. Kelly, you crazy. But can somebody in the chat tell me where is R. Kelly right now? Please. Can somebody in the chat please tell me where is R. Kelly as we speak? I'm not sure where of his whereabouts. Can somebody please help your sister with the curly braids? Right. He locked up. He locked up. Right. Watch this. Now, when they open this, I got to show y'all how satanic your white media is. This is how dumb they are. And this is how your black media, your old dead black media helps to sell you out and keep those wicked folks in place. Are y'all listening? Now, when this whole segment started, it's a black-looking man and another woman that's some other kind of color.
R&B singer R. Kelly.
Y'all see that, right?
Racketeering and sex crimes in two separate federal trials in 2021 and 2022. But
then they fast forward to who covers the actual segment is who? Jerika Duncan, a whole black League of Mammies. Somebody put LOM in the chat. Somebody put LOM in the chat. For those of you that don't know, years and years ago, I came up with the phrase League of Mammies. League of Mammies are black women that white folks strategically look for, people that have platforms that they can use to push their white supremacist agenda and then to beat black folks over the head. They use them to push white folks' agenda either in publications and other forms of media. Somebody say this is a big old LOM sitting up there. So Jerika Duncan uses her very black skin. So you got the opening people looking like they got some melanin in them, right? Then the lady who's covering the whole story is a black woman named Jerika Duncan. Now, who is the victim? What color is the victim in this case, family? Family, answer me. I said, what color is the victim in this case? Alleged victim in this case. What color is the alleged victim in this case?
Talk about this. Good morning.
Talk black to me, somebody. She black. And then she got some good braids, so you ain't confused about her blackness. So the people that open it up look like they got melanin. The lady that's doing the segment, the black reporter, Jerika Duncan is a black reporter. Then the victim is black with braids. Talk black to me, somebody. Y'all see this mess? On the day, and the time, the past back-to-back few days, your white media, CBS, is putting all black folks out there and putting us in a time capsule. R. Kelly is locked up. Unlike Donald Trump, unlike Bill Gates, and unlike all them other little weirdo, sicko, twisted little perverts that's out there. Talk black to me, somebody. This is a deflection, and your black dead media are participating in it. Are y'all listening? Now, in addition, what did they do in this segment? They only let the lady talk a few minutes. She only talked a few minutes before they immediately went to what?
I saw all of it, but I saw enough.
And you thought?
That was the spirit of conviction came over me during that moment.
And when you say the spirit of conviction,
watch this.
What do you mean by that?
somehow I felt responsible that he was able to hurt so many more people. During the time, I thought maybe these were just sexual fetishes that he had with me. Maybe this was just abuse I was going through. But when I saw that his behavior had gotten so much worse, and he was allowed to hurt so many people because I lied, that did not sit well with me as an adult, as a woman.
In March of that same year, Gayle King sat down with him.
Look.
And the two women he was in a relationship
One more
with at the
time.
time.
Look,
Did you
y'all.
see that?
I did.
I didn't do this stuff. This is not me, y'all. I'm fighting for my life. Y'all killing me with this. I can't help that.
Robert.
Now, how many of you all know that when that took place a few years ago, that clip went viral? It went all over the United States and all over the world because it made it look like that he was aggressive, that he was violent, he was crazy. How many of y'all remember that on some of the publications, they had him hovering over Gayle King like he was some kind of a big ape that was getting ready to hurt Gayle King? Why in the hell are we going back in a time capsule to talk about R. Kelly when he locked up? What are we talking about black folks and they and sexual fetishes and all that mess for when we got a whole a whole nation of white men that's government leaders that speak a bunch of other languages, military leaders, corporate leaders? Why did CBS this morning do a whole segment on that? Let me tell y'all something. They're trying to make black folks, once again, the face of their madness. And in almost in every single case, and I'm not going to sit here and justify none of that madness that R. Kelly was involved in. But how many of you all know most of the time it pales in comparison to what you see these devils out here doing, these Caucasians doing? And a lot of times when black folks are caught up in stuff, they allow themselves to be caught up in white folks' traps. And as you saw earlier, R. Kelly was unable to be convicted previously. And of course, y'all know that even if there was something there, which certainly there was, they like to pile on in order to deflect from all the white folks that was doing a whole lot of dirt. Talk black to me, somebody. Now, how many of you all know that Gayle King, Oprah's buddy, is the same Gayle King that tried to defame the legacy of Kobe Bryant when he was dead and before he was even buried? Did y'all know that? That Gayle King twitched her chocolate hips over to basketball player, legendary female basketball player, Miss Leslie. And she sat down with her, who's a very, very close friend to Kobe. Before Kobe, I believe it was before he was even buried. Gayle, to get her network a whole bunch of ratings and to throw a black man under the bus to make him look depraved, Gayle King brought up an old sexual assault case. Y'all remember that old sexual assault case with Kobe? And nothing ever came of it with another white girl. Y'all remember that? Nothing was convicted. Nothing. Gayle gonna bring that up after the man was dead. And Leslie, I don't want to pull this up. Leslie, Lisa Leslie, is this the one?
She was going to be in the WNBA. It's been said that his legacy.
Here it is. This it. Leslie, Lisa Leslie, Kobe Bryant's best friend. Look at this clip. This is when Gayle sat down with her. Kobe was barely, some folks say, killed. But before he was in that accident, allegedly an accident. Before the man was even memorialized good, Gayle, how many of y'all know she's with CBS too, right? The same network. Are y'all listening? Gayle with CBS sat down with Kobe's best friend to bring up a case that he was never convicted of, and watch how Leslie humiliates Gayle's dumb self. Somebody say long. League of Mammies. It's a whole league of mammies. Listen.
She was going to be in the WNBA. It's been said that his legacy is complicated because of a sexual assault charge, which was dismissed in 2003, 2004. Is it complicated for you as a woman, as a WNBA player?
It's not complicated for me at all. Even if there's a few times that we've been at a club at the same time. Kobe's not the kind of guy, never been like, you know, Lisa, go get that girl or tell her or send her this. I have other NBA friends that are like that. Mm-hmm. Kobe's, he was never like that. I just never have ever seen him being the kind of person that would do something to violate a woman or be aggressive in that way. That's just not the person that I know.
But Lisa, you wouldn't see it though. As his friend, you wouldn't see it.
And that's possible.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't believe that. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying things didn't happen. Mm-hmm. I just don't believe
Watch this.
that things didn't happen with force.
Is it even a fair question to talk about it, considering he's no longer with us and that it...
Now watch how Leslie, very classy like, gonna punch Gail in the nose.
Resolved. Or is it really part of his history?
Watch this.
That things didn't happen with force.
Is it even a fair question to talk about it, considering he's no longer with us and that it was resolved? Or is it really part of his history?
I think that the media should be more respectful. At this time, it's like if you had questions about it, you've had many years to ask him that. I don't think it's something that we should keep hanging over his legacy. I mean, it went to trial.
Yeah, it was dismissed because the victim in the case refused to testify. So it was dismissed.
And I think that's how we should leave it.
What you say, Leslie? Did you hear her put Gail, her funny looking self, in her place? Gail King. The man was not even buried, y'all. And Gail, for white folks, for white people's agenda, and for ratings, CBS Network decided that they once again was going to try to make a black man the face of all their sexual depravity. Meanwhile, Weinstein, Epstein's, and the Steens, them folks was out there doing the absolute unimaginable. And they were using black men as cover for their madness. How many of y'all know they're doing the exact same thing again? I want y'all to listen one more time to what Leslie said with Gail's aggressive self. Can you all imagine getting this terrible news about Kobe? And before we're even seeing his memorial or his funeral, Gail is already to twist her hips out of town to go to Leslie's house to get the scoop and to bring up a case with him and a white girl that didn't come to nothing. Now, I want y'all to watch real quick because I think y'all might miss just how, because Leslie, I don't want y'all to miss just how she put her in her place real smooth.
It's just, I just don't believe that. And I'm not saying things didn't happen. I just don't believe that things didn't happen with force.
Is it even a fair question to talk about it, considering he's no longer with us and that it was resolved? Or is it really part of his history?
Now, you see how Gail is a devil right there? Gail knows it's wrong, that she shouldn't be talking about this, sending the man's dead. That's what Gail is saying. But then she flip it and say, oh, is this really a part of his history? Do y'all remember what I did to Gail after this happened a few years ago? And do y'all remember other black media got on Gail too? But I helped to lead the way. How many of y'all know what Gail did after we tore her behind up on alternative media? How many of y'all remember Gail took a leave of absence from work? Because we tore her behind up. How many of y'all know that? Because some of y'all may not be, y'all probably knew, some of y'all new to this space. Some of y'all don't know. Gail had to take a leave of absence. Everybody hit that thumbs up button and be sure, family, they got a thing I think they call hyping. Whatever that is, family, y'all can do that too, now or later. And be sure to stay tuned because I got a special announcement about an event that I've got coming up February 21st. It's a paid ancestors event. It's going to be so good. And I'm going to tell you how it's connected to all the stuff that's happening now. Yes, listen.
I think that the media should be more respectful.
Who should be more
At
respectful?
this time, it's like if you had questions of,
Wait a minute. Who should be more respectful, Leslie?
I think that the media should be more respectful. At this time,
That's you, Gail.
It's like if you had questions about it, you've had many years to ask him that.
What did she say? She said, if you had questions to ask Kobe about it. I'm scared that y'all missing this. She said to Gail King, Gail, if you wanted the truth, girl, if you really had questions about this, what did she say? She said, you had years. When the man was alive, you could have asked him about that. How many of you all know that that's the biggest sign that that's an agenda, that they're trying to use the dead and the black man to cover for sick white depravity? That's how you know it's an agenda, because like Leslie said, you had years to ask him about this. Talk black to me, somebody.
She was going to be, and didn't happen with force.
Is it even a fair question to talk about it, considering he's no longer with us and that it was resolved? Or is it really part of his history?
I think that the media should be more respectful. At this time, it's like if you had questions about it, you've had many years to ask him that. I don't think it's something that we should keep hanging over his legacy. I mean, it went to trial.
Yeah, it was dismissed because the victim in the case refused to testify.
Yeah.
So it was dismissed.
And I think that's how we should leave it.
Gail gonna say, well, it was dismissed because the victim didn't testify. And what did Leslie say? Yeah, that's how we should leave it. The hell is we sit up here talking for? And even in cases like that, where it may be something suspicious going on, just because something was dismissed doesn't mean it wasn't wrongdoing. Gail, and what did Leslie say? You could have asked him about this. You had years to ask him. Years and years. But you want to use his legacy. You want to mar his legacy in death. And Leslie said, not on my watch, baby. Why am I bringing this up? Because I'm trying to show you a pattern of CBS. Are y'all listening? I said, are y'all listening? Meanwhile, how many of y'all know I brought this up a long time ago, right? Right? Now look at Oprah.
He's not doing well. May I say?
After we tore up Gail, how many of y'all know that Vicki Dillard was on the front line of tearing up Gail King? I helped to make it go viral a few years ago that she did that. I got on her butt. How many of you all know a whole lot of other black media outlets did the same thing? We tore Gail King up so bad. Are y'all listening? We tore Gail King up so bad. What happened? Gail took a leave of absence. How many of y'all remember that? Some of y'all don't remember that. Gail took a leave of absence, and Oprah came out to defend her on other platforms. Look what Gail did. Look what Oprah did to defend Gail King after we tore her terrible, horrible self up. Look what Oprah did. They sent out Oprah to fix it. Look what Oprah did on other networks like Entertainment.
She is not doing.
Look.
She's not doing well. May I say she is not doing well.
Oprah Winfrey fought back tears on the Today Show, talking about the backlash surrounding her best friend, Gail King.
Obviously, all things pass. She will be okay, but she hasn't slept in 2 days.
Let me get you up to speed. On Tuesday, CBS this morning aired Gail's interview with former WNBA star Lisa Leslie. In the wide-ranging interview, Gail asked Kobe Bryant's longtime friend about his tragic death in January.
He will be missed, but he will not be forgotten, that's for sure.
Gail also asked about his 2003 rape charge and subsequent criminal case.
It's been said that his legacy is complicated because of...
Look at Oprah one more time, family.
She's not doing well. May I say she is not doing well.
Oprah Winfrey fought back tears on the Today Show, talking about the backlash surrounding her best friend, Gail King.
Family, y'all know, because see, some of you all don't understand the power of voices like mine. You get it twisted because this girl from Mississippi and because I use a laptop and a cell phone to reach the world and alternative media. That was us that started that. And I know I had a big part in it. And it caught on fire and other media voices started to pick it up. Y'all know darn well that old dead black boule media was not doing any kind of video checking Gail King or Oprah. How many of y'all know that would only come from somebody like Vicki Dillard? How many of you all know that you cannot count on even Charlemagne the God? You cannot even count on no Tamika Mallory. No voices like that was coming out against K.L. King. How many of y'all know that would only be started by somebody like Vicki Dillard and people that are similar to my spaces? We threw her up under the bus politically. We put the bus in reverse and drove it back again. And then we put it in forward and drove it again. Then we put it back in reverse and made clear to K.L. King, don't you ever in your lifetime feel comfortable doing no mess like that. Gail was so thrilled. How many of y'all know that we even end up getting Snoop Dogg involved? How many of y'all remember that? Miss Cynthia, your gift is blessed 1,000-fold. Hey, Queen, why aren't the women who are athletes and reporters speaking on women's sports in our private spaces? Ma'am, you would think so. Because they all, a lot of them sold out too. Aquarius said, they thank you for joining us. She's thanking you all. Shout out to my beautiful moderators. Now, I got to remind, because some of y'all don't know how this went. Watch this. Sometime after that, to defend Gayle King and others, guess what? Kareem Jean-Pierre, remember she ended up later being the press secretary for Joe Biden, the black lady, the Haitian LGBTQ lady. Well, I got on her for going on Morning Joe, but I wasn't even trying to make the segment all about her. I just happened to mention her name because she was going on Morning Joe, MSNBC, to try to defend some mess too. She knew it was wrong, but it wasn't just that. Another black woman, how many of y'all remember Miss Rice, the former she worked in the State Department. Let me pull her up. I'm gonna get it right. Y'all, baby. Y'all gotta know who you're dealing with when you're dealing with Vicki Dillard, baby. This is why they don't like me. Susan Rice. Let me try to find it. Hold on. Susan Rice. Let me pull her up because y'all think I'm making this up, baby. How many of y'all remember her? Just show you some of my this how this go. This is why the powers that be don't like me. How many of y'all remember this lady, Susan? The picture just flipped. I'm just gonna try to put up a simple Google picture. Okay. How many of y'all remember her? This her. How many of y'all remember Susan Rice now? How many of y'all remember her? Y'all know I gotta get the receipts because y'all be getting me confused. This Miss Rice. Susan Rice. Well, for those of you that don't know, she was first working in the Clinton administration. She used to work as in the State Department, I believe it was, in the Clinton administration, some official position. Watch this. They tried to use her black-looking self to throw her under the bus related to the Rwanda stuff. How many of y'all remember the Rwandan genocide? The Clinton administration came up under so much scrutiny and criticism for the way they handled that they threw her under the bus for that tragedy. In part. Well, later when Obama became president, he was supposed to make her Secretary of State. How many of y'all know that? Susan Rice, you see, this is why they don't like your sister. Y'all be getting this Mississippi girl mixed up, right? Real strong mixed up. So when Obama won the presidency, they turned around and wanted Susan to finally be, they wanted there to be finally to be a black Secretary of State. So because she had a lot of experience in the State Department, but in different positions, and she had worked under the Clinton administration years before, they were supposed to be trying to make her the Secretary of State. Watch this. White Democrats worked to make sure she didn't become Secretary of State. Who ended up being the Secretary of State for Obama, y'all? Kerry. But then who ended up being it after that? Hillary Clinton. Exactly. So Susan Rice got played, and even other Democrats worked to ensure that she didn't become Secretary of State. She ended up having some other role in an ambassadorial, like a Security Council type role. Watch this. And in fact, let me see if I can pull up her credentials real quick. She was a former United States ambassador to the United Nations. Yes. Carl, your gift is blessed 1,000-fold, precious. I see y'all's notice is coming on in. Okay, y'all got it? Watch this. So what happened? Why am I bringing her up? Because Susan Rice, after we gave Gayle King, y'all, so much hell, so much so that we drove Gayle to take a leave of absence, and Oprah started making the rounds on different TV stations, crying and carrying on to try to defend her. Because y'all know that did not come from mainstream media. Mainstream media don't go against Gayle and Oprah. That was all us. We made it go viral. Watch this. So the former press secretary, remember I brought her up a minute ago? Kareem Jean-Pierre. She's always been in D.C., Washington spaces, right? Political spaces. Well, she went on Morning Joe, watch this, to try to defend Susan Rice. Why? Because I got on Susan Rice too. That video went viral. That's when I was doing content on Fly Nubian Queen, Your Black World, and other affiliate networks. It was on a weekend, and I did a video on that, and I brought up Kareem Jean-Pierre on Morning Joe trying to defend Susan Rice. I went off on Susan Rice. I made that go viral too. Why? Because we were so strong in us condemning Gayle King for what she did to Kobe Bryant that even Snoop Dogg came out to condemn, but he cussed her out, and then he turned around and apologized later. Watch this. He came out to condemn Gayle for what she did to Kobe. And guess what Susan Rice did? Susan Rice came out and threatened Snoop Dogg and cussed him out online and said for him to get the F back. And she went so far as to say that there was an army behind her. How many of you all know I didn't take that lightly, because this is a person that has a lot of power, and she had direct connection to military leaders when she was in those high-level places in both administrations. So I brought up Kareem Jean-Pierre because Kareem Jean-Pierre went on Morning Joe to try to defend Susan Rice's threat to Snoop Dogg, interrelated to Gayle King. Talk black to me, somebody. Shout out to my beautiful, beautiful longtime supporter, Miss Hazita, for your very, very, very generous $50 gift. Your gift is blessed, beloved, 1,000-fold. See, some of y'all don't know how this get down. So when y'all be wondering why they care about Vicki Dillard, they're concerned about the spirit that's in my mouth. Not only decent ratings and views from time to time, but it's who's listening to me and the power of my message. So, how many of y'all know later, the former press secretary for Joe Biden blocked me on 2 different platforms? Did y'all hear what I said? I said former White House officials blocked me after I brought her up, Gayle, and Susan Rice. I got to give y'all a little bit of history. Let y'all know how this goes. Vicki, you look wonderful. Thank you all so much. With that being said, all of this is interconnected to the fact of how your black boule and your black media use black faces, exacerbate, and in some instances exaggerate to deflect from the most heinous devils that's out there, that's not only violating young women and girls, but actually consuming some of their body parts, credibly and allegedly. Are y'all listening? And your current president is accused of being in some of those circles and is accused of some very horrifying things. And that's barely the tip of the iceberg. Now, let me tell y'all something. Your black boule, your black old media, ask yourself, why is it that Joy Reid, Roland Martin, and other black talking heads, why isn't Black Enterprise, why isn't Essence Magazine, why isn't Ebony, why aren't all of those magazines and so many other black publications and political talking heads, why weren't they already demanding Epstein releases before this latest stuff? Why aren't they saying that they want all the information to come forward about the Democrats, the Clintons? Are you listening? Why weren't your Democrat black shills the first ones to come out to demand that those files be opened. I'm asking you all a question. Why is it that Roland wasn't demanding information to come out about Hillary? How many of y'all know that Hillary and them was summoned to testify before subpoenaed, and they refused to come? And they recently they threatened to hold them in contempt. So now her and Bill Clinton changed their mind. They said they're gonna go before Congress for that hearing. Are y'all listening? I said, why is it that your black media weren't demanding this strongly? But could it be this, Roland? Is this why Roland didn't demand it?
Well, you raised it. Now don't leave me hanging out here.
Put my iPod on. I got music.
This is this why?
I'm sorry.
All right. That is it for us. I do gotta ask you, do you know how to wobble?
I'm sorry, what?
Do you know how to wobble?
I don't.
You know how to wobble? You just lost the black vote right there. Yeah. Karen, the black folks on your staff need to teach you how to do the wobble. Trust me.
Can you show me how you do it?
Oh, I can show you how to do it. You're going to pick up some votes, trust me.
Because your old useless dead black boule media is asking to do wobbles with presidential candidates. They're not sitting there fighting for tangibles and substantive policy. We can go to wobbling after we sort out policy initiatives that come with tangibles. Some of y'all forgot.
But I gotta see it in order to know it.
You need some music. I don't really the music.
Did you see Roland tell her you finna pick up some votes if you know how to do the wobble, Hillary? How many of y'all know black people, we believe in having fun, but we believe in having fun after we get to tangibles. I don't need to be having fun with presidential candidates that's supposed to be cutting checks. I can have fun with my homegirls. I can have fun with my man, talk black to me somebody. I can have fun with people that's in my circle. I don't need to be having fun with her. The only time I'm having fun and talking about doing wobbles after legislation has been signed for black Americans. All the wobbling in the world can come forward. Somebody put some basketballs in the chat. That's Roland. Y'all know that's how Roland got his beginning. Roland. The etymology of the word rolling, R-O, from the same family of words as roll, round, rotund.
How to do it. You gonna pick up some votes, trust me.
But I gotta see it in order to know it.
You need some music. I don't really the music, but I'm just saying.
Okay, who can show me?
He don't need the music. Watch this, y'all.
I told y'all Black Network we do a little bit different.
Well, you raised it. Now don't.
He said, I told y'all Black Network we do it different. Yeah, you do it different. Yeah, you do it different. Rolling and bouncing around for biscuits. Biscuit bumpkin. Happy to be in the presence of whiteness and lose your damn mind and throw black people under the bus. Listen.
Put my iPod on. I got music.
He's talking about when we put my iPod on. Now, family, I got to be honest with you. I got to give a disclaimer. If you got babies, protect their eyes right now. Tell them to look away or go into another room. Now, I know some of y'all like, well, are you finna show us some is it going to be explicit images? Baby, no, he ain't got his clothes off, but just him being himself is a devastation. Let me, my God. Don't say I didn't warn you. Whatever the hell he getting ready to do, there's some kind of gyrating that's offensive. And don't say I didn't give you a warning that you might have symptoms after viewing this. Baby. Hell, I be trying to recover. Still. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm allergic. But I endure it for the family to know what's really good. I suffer for the family's sake. So don't say I didn't give you warnings. I'm giving you a few seconds to get your babies out the room because I love my babies. And it would be wrong for me to put the babies at risk by having to see him being himself, baby, in rare form. Watch this.
Put my iPod on. I got music.
I'm scared.
Maybe.
Plug this up right now. Y'all know I'll put it on now. Secretary Clinton It's a pleasure. Thank you so very much. Claflin, thanks you as well. Round of applause, please. Democratic presidential candidate.
Thank you, Roland.
Secretary Hillary Clinton.
Watch out. Look.
That's how I told y'all need the music. Don't let that.
I told y'all need to be, baby. Balls don't need music. Balls that's being kicked around and thrown over the fence. No, typically they don't need music. The hell is going, child. If y'all thought that was just something cute, didn't you? Y'all be thinking, Vicki, be serious, family. Family, before you call the babies back in the room, I know you probably got to take a drink of water. Why do I hear somebody saying I need my sage, baby? Why is somebody say a bath is in order? Purification. So all of a sudden feel smothered. Everything, the wall is closing in on me. God is today. The hell. Everything is swirling. Talk black to me, somebody. But here's the thing. I'm going somewhere. I'm going to hurry up. Mamu, your gift is blessed 1,000-fold, beloved. Peace and love, Queen Mother. Thank you so much. Your gift is blessed 1,000-fold. Family, some of y'all might be saying, Vicki, why in the world are you bringing this up about Roland right now? And Hillary Clinton. And the Clintons are all in the Epstein files. Y'all know that, right? Right? And haven't you all? I'm asking you, why isn't your old dead black media obsessively going through these Epstein files and calling out the Democratic folks that are alleged to be in some of the most heinous, satanic, diabolical, and sick, vile, twisted activity? Answer me, somebody. Roland, years ago, is sitting there dancing with Hillary. We all laughing. I know some of y'all saying, Vicki, that's no big deal. That doesn't make him a sellout. Why did you all highlight that years ago, Vicki? Why did you bring it up, Vicki, in recent history? Why did you bring it up years ago, Vicki? And why did you bring it up in recent history? And why do you bring this up now? Watch this. What I'm going to show you now is what I've talked about many times over the past few years, and hardly anybody in any space has been hitting on this topic like Vicki Dillard. What topic? What topic? I'm going somewhere. Somebody tell me what is the date of this article. First of all, somebody tell me the headline of this article and tell me the date of this article. Can y'all see that? I said, do y'all see that? (2016). So a decade ago, right? What does the headline say again, family? What white lady is in the picture at the top right there? Now, I've been bringing this up to media, but I'm the main one that's been bringing this up nonstop in spaces like ours. And I've been making this an issue for a long time. And I'm going to tell you why this makes sense now in the wake of all of these Epstein files. Y'all see that? Hillary Clinton, right? How many of y'all know that we in Black America call Hillary Clinton Hillary Clinton? Oh, y'all are giving tonight. Devon, your gift is blessed. Oh, from Black Wall Street, Ashe, your gift is blessed 1,000-fold, precious. Thank you, Cool Keezy. Shout out my brother, Cool Keezy, one of our moderators in the chat. Shout out to all my mods in the chat. Y'all look. I can't believe y'all up this late. Watch this. Look. Where's Vicki going? What does this got to do with Hillary Clinton? What does this have to do with rolling, gyrating and scaring all of us to death and destroying the next generation with that shaking and movement, sparking adverse and unusual climate patterns when he go to doing that, sparking tsunamis. Watch this. Listen, y'all. Some of y'all may have forgotten this, but where my day ones at? Y'all know Vicki been talking about this for years when nobody else was talking about it. And when the one or two may have talked about it, stop talking about it. Vicki stayed on top of this. Why? I know what I'm doing. Watch this. A new email obtained by Politico is shedding more light on the mystery of whether and how interim DNC chair Donna Brazile, that's the black lady you saw, might have obtained the text of a proposed question from a town hall between Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders in advance, and possibly shared it with the Clinton campaign. Are y'all listening? And now CNN, which co-hosted the town hall with cable network TV1. What cable network, family? I said, what cable network, family? I said, what cable network, family? Somebody said CNN. Yep, but what's the other network that they did it with? TV1. How many of y'all know TV1 is a black network that who had a big hand in over there at one time? TV1, family. You're going to learn. Listen. Now CNN, which co-hosted the town hall with cable network TV1, who? CNN is doing what? CNN is pointing the finger at its media partner for what appears to be a breach of traditional secrecy surrounding the questions for such events. The email obtained by Politico was written by town hall co-moderator. Y'all think I'm making this up. Who is a co-moderator, family? I'm trying to push it as close to the screen as I can. Who is a co-moderator, family? Who's a wrong hand? Who's a co-moderator, family? Who? Roland Martin. Listen, listen. Everybody hit that thumbs up button, share, share, share. Watch this. And y'all be sure to stay to the end because I have a special announcement. I can't read your handle, beloved. What is that? Thank THAQAYAP. Your gift is blessed 1,000-fold. Hey, Vicki, our calendar is still available? If so, how can we get them? Yes, they're available at my website. One of my moderators put my website in the chat so I can pin it? VickiPlanet.com. You can sure get your pictorial 2026 calendars. Yes, they still are. Somebody said, Vicki, you know it's too late for trivia. Watch this. TV1 is pointing the finger at its media partner for what appears to be a breach of traditional secrecy surrounding the questions for such events. The email obtained by Politico. Thank you, my brother Warren and Aquarius. I'm going to pin it right now. Thank you, Aquarius. My mods are the best. Okay, it's pinned right there at the top, Blessing, my website. That's where you can just go to the front page of my website, scroll down, and you'll see where you can get your calendar. Matter of fact, everybody be sure to get your pictorial calendar. The calendar is for both men and women. It's yummy. It's beautiful pictures for every single month, meant to inspire you. And I put a few pictures in there that the public has never seen. It is steamy, baby, but it's so yummy. Zachariah, your gift is blessed 1,000-fold. Y'all are so precious. Y'all listening, right? Listen. The email obtained by Politico was written by Town Hall co-moderator Roland Martin on the day of the town hall to CNN producers. But it shows him using word for word the language of a question that Brazile appeared to have sent to the Clinton campaign a day earlier. Overthinkers, that's my precious right there. Your gift is blessed 1,000-fold. Thank you so much for your gift. Are y'all listening? Somebody say classy. Yes, thank you, precious. Are y'all listening? But it shows him. Who is him? Rolling, round, rotund. But it shows him using word for word the language of a question that Brazil appeared to have sent to the Clinton campaign a day earlier. That email from Brazil, that's the black lady that was with the DNC, to the campaign was included. Y'all think I'm making it up before I read it. Y'all know was included what? How did we find this out about Roland? While he's sitting up there talking about some, let's shake the planet. Let's shake the world, throw the world's orbit off with my shaking and gyrating that I call the wobble. Where did it say that email came from? Family? Somebody, can you read? I put the article up there because I'm scared y'all think I'm going to make this up. That email from Brazil to the campaign was included in yesterday's release of hacked emails by who? By who, y'all? Let me make it big. There we go. By who, y'all? WikiLeaks. Y'all see that? I said, did y'all see that? Roland wants y'all to be throwed. When Hillary's on the campaign, he was up there gyrating, talking about let's do the wobble, and this is how you're going to get some black votes. And I know some of y'all was like, but Vicki, that ain't no big deal. Let us have fun. He was just having fun with her. No. Behind the scenes, he's scheming with Hillary Clinton. And we found out about it not because Roland was transparent about what he was doing behind the scenes with Hillary Clinton. They was playing us in the public. Somebody put some bouncing balls in the chat. While he's sitting there got us giggling to get us to vote for her and dancing, he's behind the scenes scheming with the Hillary Clinton campaign. And we would have never known about it if Roland's name didn't come up when WikiLeaks leaked Hillary Clinton's emails and your black boulet's name popped up. He wasn't behind the scenes scheming so that he could get us reparations and whispering in her ear what kind of contracts she was going to give to Black Americans, what things that she was going to do, and how was she going to use policy to get us tangibles under whatever name, but getting us tangibles. No, Roland just wanted some biscuits. And he, in my opinion, like Simone Sanders, thought he was getting ready to be press secretary or have some kind of position in the White House. They're not behind the scenes scheming, plotting, being strategic to help us, family. He's behind the scenes to get individual biscuits and to help white supremacists. And because white people know that some of you ninjas love to be in their presence, and they know all they have to do is offer you not even a biscuit, with you sick, twisted bones and biscuits. All they have to do is offer you the opportunity to smell the kibbles and bits bacon in the atmosphere. And you, like a dog, will just toot your nose up in the air wondering where is it coming from. They know that's enough for you. Somebody put a doggy bone in the chat. Don't put the white bone emojis. They don't have no meat on it. Put the doggy emojis in the chat. They got the bone, the meat on the bone. It's some gourmet biscuits. White people know all you got to do is have acknowledgement. Hillary knew that all I have to do is show up to this fool's event, talk about the wobble, sing Amazing Grace, eat their chicken, which I believe in. I believe in eating chicken. I just don't need no white supremacists to eat it with because I can afford the chicken. Chicken ain't that expensive typically. And yes, I do like chicken fried sometimes. Crunchy fried. Yes, I danced for Miss Healy. That's exactly what he was doing. He calls it, he was allegedly dancing. We're not sure what that actually was. Just because you call it that don't mean that's what it is. We're not sure what that, we just knew it was some kind of gyrating. Listen, watch this, y'all. That email from Brazil to the campaign was included in yesterday's release of hacked emails by WikiLeaks of Clinton campaign chair John Podesta. Here's what the record shows. Y'all know it. I don't need to go through the details, but just so you know, technically, word for word, it says on March 12th, Brazil, then vice chair of DNC and CNN and ABC contributor, allegedly wrote an email with the subject line, "From time to time, I get the questions in advance." That was from Donald Brazil. Are y'all listening? That's exactly right, Cool Keezy. Meritorious manumission. Listen. Are y'all listening? It gives the exact text. Talking about here's what worries me about HRC, which is Hillary Clinton. These are the details of the actual leaked text. Yes, that's what that is. Okay. Donald Brazil right here says that from time to time, she gets the questions in advance. That's why they're saying that Roland is the one that gave it to her. Let me go further. Y'all listening? Don't forget, who was Donald Brazil? Donald Brazil was a top chairwoman. I believe at the time she was a co-chairwoman of the DNC. So she was a top Democratic darling. Not only that, if y'all not familiar with her history, if I remember correctly, I believe Donald Brazil was also the campaign manager or one of the top positions for what's his name? Look, I lost my earring, y'all. Gore, Al Gore's campaign. How many of y'all know Al Gore was supposed to have won that race, but it was stolen from him in Florida by George Bush? How many of y'all know that? So Donald Brazil ain't no fool. Donald Brazil wasn't no low-level inside DNC person. She knew how to win campaigns. She was running Al Gore stuff. Y'all know that, right? I don't believe in the Democratic politics, but I'm just saying, within those circles, this woman was very strategic and she was very effective. So she was one. So I'm just trying to show you she has a long history of politics and being effective in it for the Democrats. In addition to that, what does this article say? Remember, she's a contributor. What? She was a vice chair of DNC and a CNN and ABC contributor. So I want you all to see, here she is, a top DNC darling with the Democratic Party, top connections with presidential candidates that almost won the presidency, Al Gore, top contributor for CNN and ABC. Look at the high positions that she's in, but these people behind the scenes scheming, playing with you. Are y'all listening? Now, I get that she's going to do that to help her candidate. But these are the people that's speaking in your ear on these platforms, and particularly Roland, not telling you that he's scheming with Hillary Clinton. Talk black to me, somebody. Did y'all hear what I said? But here's the other thing that's damning for Roland. Let me skip down to find it. Because it's giving all the details of what the email said, right? And it's juicy. And it's clear that Roland was involved in it. Watch this, y'all. Y'all listen. In a statement on Tuesday, Brazil, whose contracts with CNN and ABC were suspended when she became interim DNC chair in July, denied receiving questions in advance or sharing them with the campaign. So the black lady, Ms. Della Brazil, she denied it initially, right? Writing in part, quote, "As a longtime political activist with deep ties to our party, I supported all of our candidates for president. I often shared my thoughts." Yeah, this is it. I'm sorry. I was making sure. I supported my thought. Okay, I often share my thoughts on each and every campaign. Any suggestions that indicate otherwise are simply untrue. As it pertains to the CNN debates, I never had access to questions and would never have shared them with the candidates I did. Watch this. Brazil also cautioned that the intelligence community has made it clear the Russian government is responsible for cyber attacks, quote, aimed at interfering with our election, and that WikiLeaks is part of that effort. The argument seems to suggest that some of the emails may be fakes, but no specific efforts to authenticate or deny the authenticity of this email or any of the others in the most recent WikiLeaks release have been made. Are y'all listening? I said, are y'all listening? Watch this. Watch this. I switched to the other article from NPR. Y'all see that there? Where it says hacked emails highlight the controversial role of paid partisan pundits. Y'all see that? Listen. Among the talking heads on cable, Donna Brazile has long been a familiar face on CNN. Her knowledge and access as a political analyst comes from years of being a Democrat operative. I already talked to you about some of that. Yes, I'm skipping. Brazile has been on leave from her job as CNN commentator since last summer. Why? After stepping in to lead the Democratic Party. These revelations surfaced thanks to hacked Democratic emails made public by WikiLeaks. I'm skipping. Watch this. Oh, that's not the one. Okay, hold on. I was looking for this one section. Give me a minute, family. Everybody hit that thumbs up button. Share, share, share. Okay, this is it. This is it. Hold on, fam. Let me get to. Okay. Here's the latest one. Okay, this is one. Here it is. This piece was actually written. Let me turn it over. This is from the other one I showed you. The second one I showed you is from November. This is from October 31st, 2016. This is the more updated one where I was trying to go with it from Ebony. It says this. Y'all see this headline? DNC chair Donna Brazile and CNN cut ties. Why? She went from denying it to this. Listen. CNN has parted ways with political analyst Donna Brazile after leaked emails showed that she had allegedly communicated with Hillary Clinton's campaign. I'm skipping. Officials said in the statement that the network is, quote, completely uncomfortable to learn through WikiLeaks that former Brazile had contacted the Clinton campaign ahead of time about questions that would have been posed during the presidential primary town hall last March. It's going on, saying more about the hack leaks and other stuff like that, right, family? Guess what? This one even mentions Roland too. It says in the earlier email leaked by WikiLeaks, Brazile apparently sent the Clinton campaign a question ahead of the town hall. And it says what it says. From time to time, I get questions in advance. The next day, CNN co-hosted a town hall with TV1 co-moderator Roland Martin, asked a question similar to the one she allegedly emailed. Martin has said he does not believe he had any consultation with Brazile prior to the event. CNN maintains they never shared any of the questions with Brazile. It talks about when she took leadership and on and on and on, right? CNN statement that the network never gave Brazile access to any questions, prep material, attendee list, background information, or any of the meetings in advance, right? Watch this. Guess what happened, y'all? Roland ended up, to sum it up, Roland ended up denying it. And notice in that, he said he didn't believe he did. Watch this. When Roland found out that they had other emails, he changed his denial. He changed his denial to say how he asks all kinds of candidates questions and all the stuff that he does to prepare for stuff. So he changed his full-throated denial after he learned later that they had other emails with him involved in it. So Donna Brazile, after also clearly lying about it, ended up stepping down. She actually ended up taking responsibility for it. But she kept it real general without giving too many details of exactly what she did. But she basically took accountability for it through an apology. And Roland allowed that Black woman to take the whole fall. Roland was involved in the WikiLeaks. Roland was working behind the scenes with white candidates and not disclosing that to us. Similarly, they're betraying us with these Epstein lists because they're not telling us and demanding anything. And as I showed you in the beginning of this broadcast, if you came in late, watch the whole broadcast, I showed you clips of how CBS this morning decided they're going to go back and cover R. Kelly instead of covering the Epsteins and use Black people. And Black media is assisting them. Now, when you go look for in-depth conversation about Epstein files and the Clintons and others, how come Joy Reid, Don Lemon, and all them aren't calling out all the Democrats' names and others involved in demanding transparency and accountability? Most importantly, family, why aren't your Black leaders demanding that somebody go to prison in hearings and indictments? I asked you all a question. I said, why isn't your Black leadership? Where are your Black bootlicks? Where are your other politicians? Where is the Congressional Black Caucus? Demanding a full-throated investigation and the full extent of the law be thrown at any and everybody that happens to be involved in any of that sick stuff that was in the Epstein files. I only brought that up with Roland from years ago to show you that he has a history of this behind-the-scenes slick stuff. And that's just, that ain't even telling us nothing that they really do deep. But that's enough for us to know that they playing in our face. Cool Keezy said they're going to say that that's not their job to go after white men. Exactly. But can I say something to you, Black family? Y'all may not understand this, but I need you to understand something that I'm about to say. How many of y'all know that I have often read from the book called Understanding the Assault on the Black Man, Black Manhood, and Black Masculinity? Some of the information that I'm referring to can be found in many other sources. And I have certainly sourced some of this information in times past, but it's easy for me to just access it by quoting certain parts of the book. This part of the book that I'm quoting from now, and you all have heard me go through this many, many times before, and it's relevant now. What is it? What is it? Can you all see on page 83 what this section is titled? Can somebody see what this section is titled? Can you all see this section, the title of this heading? I want you, this is very important that you see this before I start reading. Can y'all see that? I'm waiting for something to pop up in the chat. There's a delay. Okay, somebody said yes. What does it say? It says America's delectable Negro. Y'all can tell where I'm going with this in the Epstein stuff. Can you tell where I'm going right now? Can you tell how FBAs, Black Americans, and the failure for folks to do right by us and reparations and doing justice is what caused and allowed white folks' madness to go this crazy right now? And the fact that your Black boule and your Black media aren't holding them accountable for their madness? And the fact that you have Black leadership like Barack Obama say he's against reparations. You had Black presidential candidates like Kamala Harris, Black-looking candidates who alleged to be that, who's actually Indian. That y'all accuse her of being Black. Let's just say that. Y'all accuse her like a charge. You accuse her of being Black. every single one of them said hell no to reparations. What's the consequences of that, family? The consequences of that is you normalize vile behavior from our open enemy. You allow it to go unchecked when you don't demand accountability, reparations, and even in some instances, punishment. See, some of you all don't make that connection, but they want us, white folks are busted with their madness. So now white folks are saying, well, look at the time we're in now. This is getting out of control. No, it's been out of control. Now that it's hitting y'all, and not only hitting y'all, now that you all are being exposed in ways that you can't put this animal back in the box. You can't close its lid. Now, all of a sudden, you're playing like it's a crisis now. You know y'all was always this. Ask yourself this, Black family, why is it that it's the Vicki Dillards of the world that constantly talked about racism and our open enemy setting our body parts on fire, lynching us and eating us, and selling our body parts to each other, selling and prizing the penis and the phallus of Black men, and the violation of our Black mamas, and using them for sadistic, spiritual, Christian rituals. You all are giving me some of the sweetest compliments in the chat. Listen. Listen. I'm not going to read all of that, but I'm going to get to another part of this. He's quoting here Richard Suggs in his revolting book called Mummies, Cannibals, and Vampires, A History of Corpse Medicine from the Renaissance of the Victorians from 2011, documents a 2-century plus phenomenon in Europe of cannibalism and vampirism that involved the crown and the church, as well as the common citizen. I'm going to skip because I don't have time to read all that, but I want y'all to listen, okay? In this part, it says that the theological logic of these European Christian man-eaters is important. Many believe it was possible to consume the powers of the dead man's soul. At least part of the motive behind medicinal cannibalism seems to have been the attempt to consume the strength or spiritual force of those they devoured. Many believe that there was a, quote, spiritual fire in the corpse that the lucky cannibal could harvest. This was a distinctive vampirism of the soul. Many Christians believed that all people have a preordained lifespan and that if anyone is cut down prematurely, the remainder of the lifespan is in the corpse and can be harvested out. This is why the so-called Paracelsian corpse was so favored. This was a corpse of a young, otherwise healthy man who died a particular violent premature death, preferably by hanging, aka lynching. Did y'all hear that? So there were certain types of deaths that they preferred to consume the body parts with, and particularly, of course, Black folks, and harvesting our souls. This is what your good white Christian brothers and sisters in Christ believed in. His corpse was assumed to be animated with life forces that could be extracted. Some Christians connected these forces in the blood with the Spirit of God that can be harvested. Y'all can play dumb if you want to. You can try to separate yourself from that religion if you want to. But here's your historical facts. Here are historical facts that's a part of y'all's so-called spiritual destiny. I got to skip because it's too much. I'm going to skip several pages all the way to page 87 where it talks about what? What does this section say? What does this section say here, family? Y'all see it highlighted? Jim Crow, lynchings, and the sacrifice to the Christian God. Remember, what is Vicki doing? I'm pointing to an underlying part of the Epstein files and some of the behaviors and things that they are doing in modern times. And I'm connecting it to the fact that all white folks, a lot of white folks, enough white folks knew that they was doing this. And you all have been watching my broadcast, some of you on my day ones, and I've been talking about this for years on multiple platforms. White folks know this what they do. White people now that's acting like that they so hip, the woke white folks that's trying to act like that they going against the system. White people that's out there calling other white people the elite. White people love to section themselves off. They give each other new labels, religious labels. Like when they talk about the Jews and the Zionists, that's you. You still white people. You still racist white people. Now you got white people who got privilege that's calling other white people elites. See, they trying to separate themselves in categories so that we don't identify. That's still all y'all. That's y'all. It's still white people. All that's y'all. Talk black to me, somebody. Somebody just called me the goddess of receipts. You know how I do. Watch this. I'm making a larger point here. Don't miss this. Don't miss this. Don't miss this. What does it say? That the terror unleashed on the black man and women's body and soul in America had a distinctive religious or sacred countenance is further demonstrated by the lynchings of black men during the Jim Crow era. Orlando Patterson documents that in the post-emancipation South, post-emancipation, right? So after emancipation, where the Southern white male's ego, his sense of manhood, his sense of godhood, and codes of honor were all deeply wounded by the Confederate loss during the Civil War and the emancipation of their slaves. The reign of violent terror that was unleashed on the black community and the black male in particular were in many cases ritual blood sacrifices to the white Southerners' God. The lynchings in the American South often took place on the Lord's Day, and the sanctified lynch mob was frequently presided over by clergymen. I've talked about that many times before, yes? Some of the professors here, I'm skipping, have likewise argued that the lynchings were a ritualistic reenactment of the blood sacrifice of Christ, his passion. Also, a black man who in the Gospels, a white man sadistically lynched. The explanation for such sadism and bloodletting is not found in the retreat from Christian doctrine, but in its embrace. Y'all listening? Public ritual lynchings were a performative affirmation of fundamental Christian faith in a white supremacist national community. Here's a disturbing lynching photo I'm going to show you right now. So if you got somebody that's there that may not want to see it, I'm going to obscure a part of it just to be extra cautious on these platforms. But can y'all see that? That's all I'm going to show you. That body that you saw very briefly there is George Meadows. He was lynched near the Pratt Mines in Alabama's Jefferson County, January 15, 1889. Here's another one that you're familiar with. This is William Brown of Omaha from 1919. Here, Brown was a sacrificial victim in a burnt offering to the Christian god of the white mob. The flames charring and consuming Brown's body is considered by some to be the flames of Jehovah at the burning bush. How many of y'all remember seeing similar things like this? That's what white folks thought. You see all these white people dressed up coming from church, white clergymen on a Sunday, the Lord's Day. They were reenacting Christian rituals. Look at me right now. So you all that's sitting out here that's tripping about sick, twisted Jeffrey Epstein and all of the world leaders that was connected to him and all of the sick traditions that they were doing. What about to the Christian God? What about you religious folks that was using your Bible and Jehovah in them to justify your sick, twisted self? Y'all like to jump off into what you consider to be, what's the word I'm looking for? More salacious religions. No, this was y'all Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. This is the reality. That's why they dressed up just coming from church on a Sunday. No, don't talk about no other little religion out there, family, that y'all like to talk about other than Christianity. What am I trying to tell you? All of them. White folks on all kind of religions. the Zionists, all the Steins and Epstein in them, all them other little religions that he had, the temples that he erected on that island out there. No matter what thing that they do, it's some little twisted, sick thing. Can I tell y'all something? I'm a spiritualist. Y'all ain't ready for this. As quiet as it's kept. Christianity is the worst of them all because it's the one that tends to be most embraced and not as exotic, that's the word I was looking for, as some of the other religions. So when you all talk about witchcraft, but when we look at your actions and we saw you burn folks on fire, set folks on fire, it's remarkable how black folks can still swallow that in, the twistedness of it. When we say y'all Christian brothers and sisters in Christ chopped off phalluses, they chopped off black body parts and fought over them. They put them on postcards. They had body parts at the stores. When you enter some of their stores, they had them sitting there like sacred regalia. But if I talk to you about your ancient black spiritual system, you'll sit here and tell me how that's satanic and demonic. Why am I bringing this up? Look at me, 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 look at me. In addition to all the other stuff that I said earlier and so many more points that I can make later, it's very late right now, so I'm getting ready to go. Remember this, Obama? Remember this? Y'all so-called black president, right? Everybody hit that thumbs up button, share, share, share. Y'all so-called black president, right? What did he say in a debate with Hillary Clinton and all the Democratic presidential candidates, including Joe Biden, Dennis Kucinich? He was the only decent one that was up there that said something right when they was asked questions about reparations.
Senator Obama, your position on reparations? Senator Obama, your position on...
The sound is really distorted on this one, family, so listen real close, okay? This is a debate of all of the, excuse me.
Do that as president. Senator Obama, your position on reparations?
Okay, y'all listen.
Do that as president. Senator Obama, your position on reparations?
I think the reparations we need right here in South Carolina is investment, for example, in our schools. I did a town hall meeting in Florence, South Carolina, in an area called the Corridor of Shame. They've got buildings that students are trying to learn in that were built right after the Civil War. And we've got teachers who are not trained to teach the subjects they're teaching in, high dropout rates. We've got to understand that there are corridors of shame all across the country. And if we make the investments and understand that those are our children, that's the kind of reparations that are really going to make a difference in America right now.
Is anyone on the stage for reparations for African Americans? Are you?
I am. The Bible says we shall be and must be repairers of the breach. And a breach has occurred, and we have to acknowledge that. It's a breach that has resulted in inequality and opportunities for education, for healthcare, for housing, for employment. And so we must be mindful of that. But it's also a breach that has affected a lot of poor whites as well. We need to have a country which recognizes that there is an inequality of opportunity and a president who's ready to challenge the interest groups, be they insurance companies or mortgage companies or defense contractors who are taking the money away from the people who need it. Yes, I am for repairing the breach. Yes, I am for reparations.
No.
We expressed in the run-up to this conference our concerns that if you adopted all the language from 2001, that's just not something we could sign up for.
But the UN claims the boycotting countries had already signed.
Family, did you all see that? Where all of the Democratic candidates were asked, is anybody for reparations? All those people on stage, including who? Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden, and others. The only one of all the Democratic candidates that said they were for it was Dennis Kucinich, and of course, he didn't win. Why am I bringing that up? Why am I bringing that up? I'm going somewhere. I'm going somewhere. One more thing I want to remind you about. Let me remind you of another presidential candidate.
Do you support reparations for Black people?
Well, listen,
again, we had over 200 years of slavery. We had Jim Crow for almost a century. We had legalized discrimination and segregation, and now we have segregation and discrimination that is not legal but still exists and is a barrier to progress. We have disparities around housing. We have disparities around education. We have disparities around income. And we have to recognize that everybody did not start out on an equal footing in this country. And in particular, Black people have not. And so we have got to recognize that and do something about that and give folks a lift up. That's why, for example, I'm proposing the LIFT Act. Give people who are making $100,000 or less as a family a tax credit, which will benefit and uplift 60% of Black families who are in poverty.
So by default, it affects Black families, but there's not a particular policy for African Americans that you would explore.
But no, if you look at the reality of who will benefit from certain policies, when you take into account that they're not starting at the same place and they're not starting on equal footing, it will directly benefit Black children, Black families, Black homeowners, because the disparities are so significant. So if we focus on the specific issues that have resulted in the greatest disparities, and we understand that that's part of why we're doing it. Listen, the reality also is this: any policy that will benefit Black people will benefit all of society. Let's be clear about that. Let's really be clear about that.
Look.
So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm going to do something that's only going to benefit Black people. No.
No.
Whatever benefits that Black family.
The question started specifically asking her about reparations for Black people. Somebody said, where are you going with this? Shut your mouth is where I'm going with this. What you can do is shut up. I'm the best that ever do this. It's probably some little bot and some little weird troll whose mind is not even on the level of a goldfish or a peanut. Somebody put some peanuts in the chat. A lot of the allegations that are in the Epstein files have everything to do with consuming human beings, trafficking human beings, molesting, raping, violating in the most sadistic way, cutting off body parts and doing experiments on them. I showed you how America has an anti-Black sadistic history of murder, of cannibalism, and setting Black folks on fire. Yes, that's America's history with us. And your so-called most upright Christian white brethren are the ones that were the ringleaders of it. A part of fixing that, all the way from chattel slavery, right, to convict leasing, to sharecropping, which is something that came from the white Jewish community's Talmud. To Jim Crow, and now new Jim Crow. A part of fixing that, repairing that spiritually and tangibly, one small part was to cut the check, was reparations, right? And every step of the way, ever since we were so-called emancipated and freed, America has refused to do it. Which means that America, your madness went unchecked. Your ability to rape, to murder, and to eat body parts became normalized. And you had the Barack Obamas and you had the Kamala Harrises that was out there on the front line as presidential candidates to say, hell no, we're not going to give it to you. So when you leave your wickedness, your vileness unchecked, it spreads to you. It spreads to the world. It becomes a pandemic. And it is absolutely uncontrollable. So I'm saying to you, family, that no Black person need to be sitting up here acting like that America is at some new point. Dennis invalidated his answer when he talked about the poor whites. Yeah, he did. But I do give him credit for the fact that he immediately said hell yes to Black folks. And I think that he made the point, first of all, when he said that we messed up. We got to repair the breach. We did something wrong and we haven't fixed it. So I understand what you're saying right there. You're right. With him bringing up the white folks, he should have left that out, period. But it's always going to fall on white people when you don't do right by us. I want you all to see what happens when America refuses to settle her physical and her spiritual debts. How many of you all know that reparations is not just physical? It's a spiritual blood debt. How many of y'all remember a year and a half, 2 ago, I was in Washington, D.C. with our brother Tariq Nasheed and so many of our foundational Black Americans. And I was one of the main speakers for the reparations. And we were just down the road from the White House demanding reparations. Thousands packed that plaza. I made the point there that it was a blood debt. I made the point for them to physically cut the check, but it was also attached to the madness of America. Can I tell you, this is one of the reasons that they're so resistant to do it? Because there's a spiritual element to that. Some of you all don't understand that. But what happens when you don't fix what you are? Look at how their madness spreads. And you can't hardly bring it to heal. And when we demanded that some of that be addressed, even your so-called friendly Democrats said, hell no. Fought against it, which means that they're also complicit. I'm going to go further. We already been here a long time. I've got so many other points that I want to make. How many of y'all know we got millions of documents to listen to go through rather? There's going to be several other points that I'm going to bring out and some other shocking things that I'm going to highlight related to this. But how many of you all know that there is a reason why your Black media today on CBS did a whole segment on R. Kelly to deflect from white folks? How many of you all know that when I brought up Gayle King, y'all remember I brought up Gayle King earlier? How Gayle was willing to throw Black people under the bus for her white network, to try to act like that they're the face of depravity. How many of y'all know Oprah Winfrey's the one that dogged Bill Cosby too? Oprah Winfrey was the one that libelously dogged Michael Jackson. How many of y'all know that? How many of y'all know Gayle King's morning show? Some of y'all may have forgotten years ago. This was Gayle King's co-host on the morning show she's on now. How many of y'all remember that? Charlie Rose. Y'all see that? How many of y'all know that Charlie Rose was considered to be a legend in journalism? How many of y'all know that? Look at this headline from Vanity Fair from 2008 on Gayle King. They interviewed Gayle King. Look at this headline. What does the headline say? I said, what does that headline say, family, on Gayle King? Look at the subtitle. Why is it that Charlie Rose is no longer on CBS Morning Show with Gayle King, the legendary white journalist? Here's why. While the CBS host believes that women who accuse her former CBS This Morning colleague of sexual misconduct, she says she is still friends with Rose. And quote, you can hold two ideas in your head at the same time. Charlie Rose was ousted from CBS This Morning after multiple allegations of sexual misconduct from how many women, family? How many women did Gayle King's best white buddy, legendary journalist, how many sexual allegations was against him? Dozens. Dozens of women. But it says, but Gayle King, what? Has not abandoned her former co-anchor. In fact, the two are still friends. And although King has not hidden this fact in the past, a new profile from the New York Times offers new insight into the anchor's continued relationship with her disgraced former CBS's morning colleague. Why am I bringing this to your attention? If you read through the article I know I've been on this for years. See, y'all, some of y'all knew. You don't get why I get onto these people like I do. Look, Gail, as you saw, was willing to dog R. Kelly. Gail was willing to put her career on the line against Kobe Bryant. Oprah dogged Bill Cosby. Oprah dogged Michael Jackson. Oprah, Gail loved to go after black men to make them the face of sexual depravity. But when it comes down to their white buddies, Gail King, buddy could not even keep his job because of the credibility of those dozens of sexual misconduct allegations. And Gail said that white man, Charlie Rose, what she say about her white man buddy, Charlie Rose? What she say about him, y'all? What did she say about Charlie Rose family, about her white buddy? What did she say? I said, what she say, y'all? She said, there's two sides to every story, and she's going to stay with her buddy, and she remains friends. How many of y'all remember Oprah's long-running, top reigning show, Oprah Winfrey, for what, quarter of a century, 20-something years? And one of the top distributors. If you look at Oprah's old shows, what name comes on at the credit at the end of her show? A name named Weinstein, right? How many of y'all remember this article from about the same time, 2018? What does this headline say from CNN on Oprah? Oprah is pretending like Harvey bullied her, but she never said nothing the whole time she worked with him. Why did she bring that up? Because how many of you all know Disgrace, one of them other Steins, a little nasty, little dirty, little funky, little dirty, little vile, little nasty, little funky, little dirty, little nasty, little throw it away, dirty, little funky, little nasty, little dirty, little funky, little nasty. Nasty little peewee. The article says Oprah Winfrey discussed some of her past interactions with disgraced producer Harvey Weinstein in a wide-ranging interview with Gwyneth Paltrow published Thursday. Quote, what I knew about Harvey was that Harvey was a bully, and that if Harvey's on the phone, you go, oh God, you don't want to take the call because you're going to get bullied in some way, Winfrey said in an episode of Paltrow's newly launched podcast. What that meant for Winfrey, she recalled, was that Weinstein pressured her to have certain guests on her long-running talk show. Winfrey reiterated that she had no knowledge of Weinstein's alleged sexual misconduct prior to reports from New York Times and the New Yorker last fall. Quote, was I friendly with Harvey? Yes, I was friendly with Harvey. Was I in association with Harvey for the Butler movie? Yes, but of course I didn't know any of this was going on. The Weinstein Company, in case y'all don't know, distributed Lee Daniels' 2013 film, The Butler, in which Winfrey has a role. More than 60 women have accused Weinstein of sexual harassment or assault. Through a spokeswoman, Weinstein has reportedly denied the allegations of non-consensual sex. Of course, we know he was convicted of several things. It goes on to talk about Oprah in this Gwyneth Paltrow thing. Now, it says, after Weinstein's alleged misconduct was brought to light, a wave of allegations against other powerful figures followed. It had been coming with Bill Cosby, and nothing happened. It had been coming with Bill O'Reilly, even with the president of the United States, where people can hear the Access Hollywood tape, and yet nothing happens, Winfrey said. It had been coming, and so that moment, Weinstein, was a moment where it all crystallized. There are other articles that talked about how other Black celebrities called out Oprah Winfrey and said that Oprah definitely had knowledge that this was said to have been going on, and that Oprah playing dumb now that it came out. So in order to fix her reputation, Oprah said all them years that Harvey bullied her into having certain guests on. Let me ask y'all something. I thought Oprah was a sovereign woman. I thought Oprah's show belonged to her. So what does she mean he bullied her to have certain guests on? Oprah knowingly and intentionally, in my opinion, based on information and belief, she was very clear what was going on, these rumors that she heard. How many of y'all know that Oprah got a lot of ratings by having regular people on her show talking about molesting young kids? But yet she plays dumb when it comes down to the most powerful and the richest white men on the planet that was doing the sickest thing that you could ever hear of. How can Oprah be talking about something that a hillbilly did to his niece or his daughter? But she gonna play dumb that she didn't know that her best buddies that was distributing her stuff was like eating women, eating human beings. I'm showing you how black media like Gayle, black media like Oprah, black media like CBS This Morning, black media like Roland, and other members of the black media and black boule, I'm talking about the old black media, they help to empower this. And when you have black looking people like your former president, Barack Obama, that fights against holding white folks accountable, when you see that Barack Obama bailed out the Wall Street gangsters, but left black homeowners under the bus during the 2007-2008 crash, when you see when black folks was in the streets protesting police brutality, and Obama called them thugs, you see how black boule assist in the depravity of sick, twisted white folks. How many of you remember, excuse me, the glorious former DC Mayor, Marion Barry? I asked you all a question. How many of y'all remember the great honorable Marion Barry of Washington, D.C.? I know y'all like, Vicki, yes. I don't care what they said. Remember they busted him in a crack scheme? The feds busted him. He was in a hotel with a woman and they caught him smoking some stuff. Look at me. Look at me, black family. I got to go after this. It's very late. Maybe one of the reasons why, even though I didn't know him personally, maybe one of the reasons I like him so much is because he was born in Mississippi. How do y'all know I was born and raised in Mississippi? He was born in Itabena, Mississippi, but that's another story. I think that's why I like his energy. How many of y'all remember that the feds set up Marion Barry to get caught on camera smoking that stuff, right? How many of y'all remember that? At the end of a joint sting operation by FBI agents of the District of Columbia Police, I'm just giving you a little background. Mayor Marion Barry is arrested and charged with drug possession and the use of crack, a crystalline form of cocaine. At the Vista International Hotel in downtown Washington, Barry was caught smoking the substance on camera with Rashida Moore, a woman who had agreed to set up Barry. Y'all hear that? In exchange for a reduced sentence in an earlier drug conviction. In September 1991, he was sentenced to 6 months in prison for possession of crack cocaine. After serving his sentence, Barry, claiming to have overcome his personal adversities, re-entered D.C. politics. He was elected to the city council before once again winning the mayoral election in 1994 for an unprecedented fourth term. In 1997, Barry, often accused of corruption, was stripped of much of his power by Congress, which passed legislation to end home rule in the district, returning the city to the pre-1974 system of administration by federally appointed commissioners. In January 1999, Barry retired and was succeeded by Anthony Williams as mayor of the nation's capital. However, Barry entered politics again when he ran for Ward 8 City Council seat and won with how much? 96% of the vote in November 2004. He died in 2014. Why did Vicki bring him up? Look at me. White folks wanted to set up the mayor, and they did, Marion Barry, to dog this black man and to make this black man the face of corruption in DC, didn't they? Look at me, black family. Why did black Americans continue to rock with him even when he was no longer mayor? And even when he ran years later, even when the government set him up? Look at me. Look at me. Because Marion Barry used white folks to get into office. And when he got into office, he's used his position to cut the check for black folks. To this day, black folks, young and old, credit him for their first jobs, credit him for contracts. He is directly credited for making some of the most millionaires, the most black millionaires. White folks are mad at him because he actually used his position and played them. And guess what? When they came against him in DC, there was nothing that they could do because the streets rock with him because he performed for the streets. He worked for the elderly and the up and out. He helped black business folks, and black folks was pimping with millionaires out of this world because of that man. And they were pissed off at him. He still helped other folks too. He helped white people too. But he damn sure made sure black folks got them contracts. He used Washington, D.C. with skill. So even after all that, you couldn't tell black folks nothing about him. We knew they set him up. Why am I bringing this up? Because we need those kind of black politicians. And while they tried to set him up intentionally over smoking some crack, white folks is in there eating body parts and doing all kind of sick stuff. He was using the power to actually help folks, especially black folks. Don't you ever get him mixed up with one of them little dirty dogs. I don't believe in no man calling no woman no bitch. Except for that time he called that lady that. After setting him up. Because that's what he said on camera. If y'all don't know what I'm talking about, it's an inside joke, family. You got to watch the footage. But not no man disrespect no woman. It's never acceptable ever to call her that. Except for that one time. That time. Don't you ever disrespect the divine feminine woman. Don't you ever, never do it. But that one time was... If y'all don't know, you got to watch it because it's something he said on camera, family. It's something that actually happened. Watch this. Because they intentionally set her up. And I just read to you, they used a lady so that she could get a reduced sentence in another case to intentionally set him up. Why? White folks was mad at him because of how he was using the most powerful city in the United States, and by extension, the planet, to benefit so many black people. He wasn't running his mouth telling us what he couldn't do. He was actually cutting the check. And is directly responsible for not only making so many black millionaires, but the average black person credited him for jobs. People that were coming from prison, he put people that were formerly in prison in top leadership positions. Y'all know that? He was helping the elderly. This is who white folks want you to think is a real criminal. No, it's y'all little dirty, little stinky, little funky selves. Now, I'm going to end it here. With all the revelations that's coming out, I need you all to tag all of your Congressional Black Caucus people and ask them, did they have any knowledge that this may have been going on? Ask them, are they calling for people to be arrested in indictments? Are they going to stand against the Clintons, publicly, openly demand investigations specifically into them, into their depravity as well? I got so much more to go, but it's late. But I wanted to intentionally bring this up because some of you all don't see the connection. Some of you all don't recognize that the fact that they didn't do right by us and that they excuse their cannibalism of Black bodies, they excuse their eating of Black bodies, burning our Black bodies, the fact that they would not rein in and bring to heel white barbarism, white sadistic, depraved behavior. And now that white folks are busted, that's what this is about. White folks always knew this was them. Every time they bring up the Epstein stuff and other people, I need y'all to ask them, how y'all didn't know this when Vicki was talking about this all the time? How y'all didn't know this when this is a part of your historical record? They can't put the cat back in the bag is the problem. Why y'all laughing at me? They cannot put the cat back in the bag. And every time they like to make the Black person the face of their twisted sickness, don't they? Don't they? Now white folks talking about we had a turning point. No, the turning point is y'all can't hide your stuff no more. The turning point is y'all trying to be the face of police brutality now that ICE done took a couple of y'all out. And we're not going to let that happen, Black family. No disrespect to that guy Goodman and the other, like the guy Good and the other guy. No disrespect, but I don't want to hear their names when they come down to police brutality. Let white folks talk about them. There is no reason on no day, whenever we talk about police brutality, you better not ever string their name in that. Let white folks defend and do all that. Because we told y'all's funny looking self that when you don't do right by us, it's going to implode against you. You're going to turn on yourself because y'all don't know how to keep your wickedness in check. Don't you dare put none of them in the same line as us. Family, I've got an Ancestors webinar coming up. How many of you all attended my first free Ancestors webinar sometime back called Bloodlines Move Trade Lines? I've got part 2 coming up Saturday, February 21st on a Saturday. This is a paid Ancestors webinar. The first one I did was 4 hours and it was free. I do regularly free offerings for the public. This one is paid. I've done previous Ancestors webinar years ago where it was paid. And how many of y'all know I have the most unmatched Ancestors webinar? Not only am I going to give you insight and information as to how our literal bloodline is connected to global domination and the economy, I'm going to let you know specific ancestral rituals that we can reconnect to our ancestral power so that we can be in the position, in a more favorable economic position collectively. How many of you all know we can do more together when we understand our supernatural power? My next Ancestors webinar is paid. It is going to be well worth the investment because it's going to have to do with you reconnecting in a more substantive way to your ancestors, which is your power source. But also we're going to engage in a collective ritual that I'm going to do on our behalf together when you register. So everybody that registers is not only going to get the highest level of spiritual knowledge, I'm going to connect some dots internationally. I'm going to connect some dots even to some of the Epstein files and what that's got to do with the bloodlines. Did y'all hear what I said? And I'm going to specifically connect us to some ancestral rituals that's going to directly connect us spiritually so that we're in the highest level possible to retake the economy in the world that was always ours. Go to my website today at VickiPlanet.com. My team, literally before I came on, should have put that up. Let me see if I can get the link real quick. It's well worth the investment. I have given so many free offerings to the public. I have poured from my heart. But how many of you all know if you want something you never had, you got to do something you've never done? You need to start investing in your spiritual life. And because of the spiritual work that I'm going to do, as well as the highest knowledge and information that you're going to receive, here we go. It's well worth the investment. Don't ever feel like you can justify spending all kinds of money every month on things that perish, but you feel like that you should make no investment in your spiritual life when everything you see came from everything you can't see. Talk black to me, somebody. Let me see. Is it pinned now? Everybody click this link and make sure that you join Make the investment in yourself. Let me tell you something. Look at me. The whole thing about the Epstein stuff, they're doing spiritual work to dominate the world, but they're doing it in a sadistic and an evil way, right? What if you invested in your spiritual life and did it in the right way, family? What if you did it in a way that was going to empower you and your bloodline and put you in a better position spiritually and materially? Who just said that portal is open? You better say it. The question is, can you see it? Whoever just said it, you clearly can see it. Everything in the Epstein file has a lot to do with bloodlines. I'm going to talk about it in my webinar. It has to do with certain spiritual rituals, but sadistic, twisted ones that they were doing. And they used that power to influence the world. Somebody said, thanks, Queen Vicki. Keep up the good work. You're so welcome. Somebody else just said, it's our time. If that's you, if you want to learn the rituals that can empower your bloodline to prepare for the new world, this is for you. So those that attend, you're going to get high-level knowledge on your ancestral power. I'm going to give you some background information on the war, the temple wars that has to do with the bloodlines, how bloodlines move trade lines. That's deep. But I'm going to add in it this time a special, sacred, spiritual, basically a mini ceremony to reconnect us to our own individual high-ranking ancestors. And we can move as a collective so that we can start to ignite our unseen powers that's hidden in our bloodlines. Yes? The link is above. Mark your calendars, February 21st. If you're under the sound of my voice, that means that the divine is giving you an opportunity to participate in this. How many of you all know Vicki's been talking about this? And every time I discuss certain topics offline, it's because there's sacred information that has no business being online. And you ought to be willing to invest in it. Look at me real good. I said, look at me real good. I make no apologies for requiring an investment for it. Not only for my knowledge, but for the price that I paid to get it. For my team that's assisting me in bringing it about for you. And because if you want to lay hold of something, you ought to be willing to invest it. There's an ancient spiritual principle said that where your treasure is, your heart is. Don't you dare tell me that you feel it's more important to invest in all the other bills and stuff. How many of y'all know we pay the same bills over and over again every single month, right? Because by the time you pay your bill, you didn't already use up all the energy of the previous month, typically. How much more should the investment in spiritual connection be for you? All ancients understood the importance of making a spiritual exchange. Don't justify being spiritually cheap and expecting something for nothing. Don't diminish the power of spirit by saying it ought not have a cost. You are a devil. And the very people that's in power now were willing to spend billions, watch this, and move trillions of dollars. Who just said Vicki is the Malcolm X? Make sure you're not a part of that crowd. If this isn't for you, it ain't for you. And when seats cut off, because I'm not going to have a whole, I'm not going to be doing a whole lot of that. First of all, it ain't a whole lot of time to be promoting this. That's number one. Number two, whoever's there, it's a sacred, chosen group of people that's supposed to be there. So once I hit a certain number, that's it. Once you attend, the attendees are also going to have access for a replay for several months. But the biggest thing is you're going to get this high-level ancestral knowledge connecting your bloodlines and how they move actual economies. This is what the elites know, but you don't know. And how we, who are considered to be nobodies, those of us that come from families that were poor. Some of us, I don't care if your account is I don't care if you got a Burger King job. I don't care if you don't have credentials. I don't care if you don't have a degree. That's not the point of this. The point of this is to access the powers that's already in you, but that's latent, that's dormant. And by us connecting together, we're going to access something spiritually. Watch this. That could have global effects. These nasty, sadistic devils are ruling the world. And they're using dark magic to do it but in the wrong way. How about we get together and use our spiritual powers? Yes? Lioness said, Mississippi born. I know that's right, baby. You better tell them about that Mississippi fire. You better tell them about that Mississippi fire, baby. I'm unapologetic about it. I give a lot. Some of you all have known me over the years. I've been on multiple platforms, and you all know I've been giving it like nobody else does it, my own unique way. No disrespect to nobody else. I've always had a spiritual school since I've been online for years. And before I came online, Club Vicki was a spiritual school, but it was in connection with somebody else. After that, it was Vicki University. I had that one on my own, but then I ended up going back into connection, unfortunately, with some of the same people that just didn't do me right, messed with me, did a bunch of weird, corrupt stuff, didn't do me right. So now I end up starting my own Vicki Dillard Mystery School, where I own it by myself now completely. I have offshoot schools and academies that I completely and 100% control. I have always been given wisdom and knowledge. Don't cheat me. Don't cheat my experience. Don't cheat the price I paid to get this information and knowledge to you. And more importantly, don't have such a poverty mindset that you're unwilling to invest in yourself. Let me tell you something. Some of you all are disconnected to your spiritual ancestors. And some of your ancestors rock with people like me in order to awaken you. This is a grace and an extension, an invitation to your sacred extension, your powers. Don't be stupid. If this is for you, click the link above or go straight to my website at VickiPlanet.com to join. Save your seat today. When you get the money and the resources, don't say, I'm going to wait to no. Do it today. Sometimes when you feel an urgency to do something, sometimes it's spirit, because there's a grace to connect with something at a certain time. And that's typically the most auspicious time to act. Do so today. I haven't done one in a while because I don't do these just to be doing them. I do them when I'm divinely guided. Somebody just said, I know that's right. Have a great rest of your night, Miss Vicki. I certainly will. I love you all so much. I bow to you. You are my bliss. Somebody asked me earlier about your calendars. I don't think I can get the calendar. Can I get it here? Oh, yeah. Somebody asked me earlier. Yes, we're still at the beginning of the year. I'm still going to be carrying some more of these. I told you all I had pre-sales. So my pre-sale people got a discount. So I sent out all my pre-sales because there were several of you that bought. There were many of you that bought the pre-sales. We end up buying bulks later. So now we up the price a little bit on these because there was a benefit for those that bought them early. So now that we got them in hand, I've got a few more of these. The 2026 calendars, get yours today. You can get these at my website at VickiPlanet.com. Y'all, a couple of these pictures I put in the public, baby, look, baby. Just my goal is to inspire you with sacred beauty every month. Get yours today. This is for men and for women. You can go to VickiPlanet.com. That's my website. The same link where you register that's pinned above at VickiPlanet.com is the same link where you can also, the same website. You just scroll down. You'll see all the proper links. Join today. Make sure that you tell people that are in your particular spiritual group, if you're part of a sorority, a fraternity, if you're part, your family, your friends, and loved ones, get everybody to join and to sign up for your ancestors webinar. If there are things that you feel like there might be disconnections with them, maybe family curses, anything like that, this could be a benefit for your lineage. If you feel like that there are some sacred secrets that you're not so proud of in your family line, this might be a good thing to connect with, because this also has to do with some purifying elements. You understand? Sometimes things that we face in our life, sometimes blockages have to do with some of that. So you want to be able to move forward more progressively and to clear out some of those things. Yes, this is just one small start, but a very important and a very powerful one. Spiritual work requires ongoing things, but you got to get started. Yes, I love you so much. My name is Vicki Dillard. I bow to you. You are my bliss. I can't wait to see you again.